Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my new video. In today's video, I'm going to be going a bit more detail on Trump's trip to China. All the people that's going with Trump, as you can see, there's a big list. I'm also going to be talking about other news around the world as well. So I'm not going to waste any more time, guys. I want to go right to it. And those of you who are still on the channel, I just want to remind you that I've opened a new channel, so make sure you subscribe to that. I'm doing part 1 and part 2 videos at the moment. So part 1 videos are going to be on this channel. And at the end of part 1 video, please head over to the new channel, part 2, and watch the video there. As always, it really helps if you watch the video from start to end. If you do watch the video from start to end, those are the videos that get pushed out by YouTube. So when you go to my new channel, guys, make sure you watch all the videos. It really helps the watch time. So that channel is not being monetized at the moment. So I need about 5,000 watch time hours for it to be monetized. So make sure you watch all the videos. So without further ado, let's start the show. Don't forget, this is part 1 of the video. So once this is finished, head over to my new channel for part 2. So, has Iran given the most biggest hint yet that if they get attacked again, they may go nuclear? I mean, I believe that Iran probably already has nuclear weapons. And this is why, Trump has been extremely careful. This probably explains why Trump has been desperate for a deal, especially with the nuclear stuff, because he hasn't been able to destroy it using his bombs. So I think he's getting a lot of intelligence from the United States and from Israel and also other countries as well, warning him that because America has not been able to destroy Iran's nuclear weapons program, they are probably building nukes in secret because they are being attacked and they feel it's national security to do so. So I believe Iran has some sort of nuclear weapon capability. I believe they have all the skills to build one, and they're probably building one because end of the day, their survival is at risk. And I believe they probably saw that tweet by Trump saying he's going to destroy Iran's civilization and all of that, and those tweets has gone to the leadership in Iran, especially the Ayatollah's son. And I believe he's probably told Iran to build a nuke as soon as possible. So they are doing that behind the scenes. If not, they probably already have. And I think this is why Trump has been not been pushing the war again against Iran because he knows, or somebody has warned him that Iran has already got nukes or is building one. And if America uses a nuke against Iran, we are not sure if that they will use those nukes against Israel. So I don't think Trump will take that chance. Anyway, I saw something else from Aragchi today. However, guys, I still believe that United States and Israel will attack Iran, and they will do it using conventional arms. They still believe that they can beat Iran using conventional weapons. I don't think they will go nuclear because I believe Russia and China and Pakistan have warned Donald Trump and United States and Israel not to use nuclear weapons. Plus, they believe that maybe Iran maybe has them or doesn't have them, or definitely has the capability to have them. So I think for those reasons enough, I think they're not going to use any nukes on Iran. But it doesn't mean they will not attack Iran. They might just carry on attacking Iran using conventional methods. They might send troops to do a ground invasion. So anything can happen, guys. Anything can happen. But I don't believe they will go along the nuke way because we are talking the end of the world here. Arakchi has been speaking and he's put forward 5 proposals to the United States before any talks will take place about nuclear programs. So he said he wants talks to end the war officially, lifting of all the sanctions, unfreezing of 120 billion in Iranian assets, and then there will be partial reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, but obviously tolls will be charged. And also, he also talked about having reparations for Iran and other things as well. So obviously, America is not going to agree to that, and nor will their bosses from Israel. So we'll see what happens, guys. And this is why this trip with Trump going to China is very, very important because he's going to raise the Iran question to the Chinese. And if Trump doesn't get what he wants from China, I believe he will come back to the United States and he will probably start attacking Iran again. Because it's very unlikely China will give Trump what he wants on Iran. It'll probably be absolutely zero. However, China might give Trump some economic handouts. They might buy some more soybeans, for example. They might buy some more Boeing planes. And they might buy some more wheat and oil, gas, for example. So they might do some of those things. But China's not going to be doing anything against Iran because they know, end of the day, this attack on Iran is all because of they basically want to strangle China. First, they went after Panama Canal, then they went after Venezuela, and now they're going after Iran. And before that, they went after Iraq, after Russia. So they're basically trying to strangle China, and they're trying to attack all the countries that are sending oil to China and doing business with China. So they're trying to basically invade them and attack them, and they're doing it one by one, guys. Arakchi has been speaking and he's put forward 5 proposals to the United States before any talks will take place about nuclear programs. So he said he wants talks to end the war officially, lifting of all the sanctions, unfreezing of 120 billion in Iranian assets, and then there will be partial reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, but obviously tolls will be charged. And also, he also talked about having reparations for Iran and other things as well. So obviously, America is not going to agree to that, and nor will their bosses from Israel. So we'll see what happens, guys. And this is why this trip with Trump going to China is very, very important because he's going to raise the Iran question to the Chinese. And if Trump doesn't get what he wants from China, I believe he will come back to the United States and he will probably start attacking Iran again. Because it's very unlikely China will give Trump what he wants on Iran. It'll probably be absolutely zero. However, China might give Trump some economic handouts. They might buy some more soybeans, for example. They might buy some more Boeing planes. And they might buy some more wheat and oil, gas, for example. So they might do some of those things, but China's not going to be doing anything against Iran because they know, end of the day, this attack on Iran is all because of they basically want to strangle China. First, they went after Panama Canal, then they went after Venezuela, and now they're going after Iran. So Trump, as well as China, they're playing a massive chess game at the moment. So it's all part of a big chess game that they're playing. Obviously, America wants to keep its number one GDP, its economy. It wants to keep its dollar strong. It wants to be the sole hegemony of the world. And China is a threat to America economically, militarily. Also, America cannot sanction countries because China will come in and help that country. And America also cannot attack any country now because China will militarily help them as well, provide them satellite data and weapons and things like that. So let me show you some of the chess games that China and United States have been playing at the moment. So they both have the upper hand. So recently, before this trip by Trump into China, he's been playing a lot of games with China. So let's go into some of them. So Facebook tried to buy Manus, and China blocked it. US imposed 3 waves of sanctions against Chinese companies. These are satellite companies, oil refiners, and individual companies involved with Iran oil trade. China ordered Chinese citizens and companies not to comply with US sanctions. Zero sales of NVIDIA H20 sales into China. And then first, these H20 chips were banned by Trump. And because China did not buy any, he decided to sell it to China, but with obviously back doors. And China wasn't having any of it. China invited Iranian Foreign Minister Arakchi to Beijing just a few days before Trump arrives, just to reassure him that don't worry, we're not going to let Iran down. We're not going to, cancel any of our agreements. So don't worry. So just to give some reassurance. Jensen Huang, the leader of Nvidia, is not on the list for the China visit, which was a bit strange, I believe, because all the top companies from United States are going to China. So it's a bit strange why Nvidia is not there. So we'll go into that in a little while. US and 6 nations with 70,000 troops and 10 warships, 100K tons, doing an exercise in the Philippines. China sent 20 warships, 200K tons, and 055 destroyer fired YJ-20 hypersonic anti-ship missile with a range of 2,000 kilometers. So these games were being played in the Philippine coast alongside Japan as well. And again, China came on top. And the reason they came on top is because these games were played, but they didn't try to upset China. They were basically in their own borders, and they finished their war games sooner than expected as well. Trump sent Iran a MOU. Iran responded, and Trump did not like the response. After Iran has responded, China announced Trump's state visit to China. China MFA announced He Lifeng and Besant met on May 12-13 in South Korea, right before Trump's arrival in Beijing. Rumors circulating Putin will visit Xi on May 18th. So you see, guys, this is just an example of some of the chess games that United States and China are playing with each other. Obviously, the timeline goes much further back. You know, we are talking from all the way back from Trump's first term when he used to sanction Chinese companies like Huawei and other companies, ban them from using semiconductors. So you see, the chess game goes way, way, deeper than any rabbit hole. There's also the talk of Taiwan as well. Trump was supposed to authorize selling weapons to Taiwan, so I believe he's going to use that as a carrot. And China is not going to care anyway because at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what weapons they sell to Taiwan. Those weapons are going to be destroyed within a day or two. And those weapons are pretty much useless as well. I think Taiwan is being scammed by Trump as they're selling them outdated and useless weapons, and plus a lot of them don't work as well. And also there's a bigger picture, of America attacking all of China's allies, like Venezuela, like Iran, like Panama, like Russia. Yeah. And it's all part of the big picture of they're trying to attack these countries and take over these countries, put a puppet government in place, and they become pro-US or pro-West. That's the big game plan that they're trying. So basically, attack all of China's allies and turn them against China once they put a puppet government in place. So the economic front, they're going to use all sorts of sticks and carrots to get China to yield. China is unlikely to move. They're going to obviously use sort of AI and chips and all these other things that they think that they have over China, which they don't. I don't think China will budge on that in any way. They will ask China to buy treasuries. I doubt if China will buy any treasuries, to be honest. They will ask China to buy soybeans, Boeing airplanes. I believe they might do that. They will ask China to buy oil and gas, American oil and gas. I believe China might do that. Um, and also, they're going to ask China to invest in United States as well. There was talks about 1 trillion being used to invest in America. But again, China's going to push back on that because every time China wants to invest in America, America basically turns around and basically backstabs them. They either kicks the Chinese companies out after stealing their technology, or they nationalize it. And there's a few examples of that. One example is Huawei. Huawei was selling phones and they were setting up their infrastructure in America. Then they got kicked out. So, and there's also other companies as well, Chinese companies and EV companies. They're trying to build factories in America. Then America just turns around and changes their mind, or they change the rules. They make things extremely difficult for Chinese companies to work in America. And Trump changes his mind, every single day. So what if BYD is allowed to build factories in America, and they come in, they build factories, and then suddenly a few years later they get kicked out by Trump or by the next president? So all that money that BYD spent building factories is all going to come to a waste, and America will basically take over those factories and the technology and pretend it's American technology and their factories. They've done that with a few companies. So I'm a bit skeptical about whether China should invest in America. I don't think they should in this climate because this climate is very, very risky. And I think America might be just using that as an excuse to steal Chinese technology, factories, money. So I don't think China should do that. So obviously, Iran is going to come up and they're going to want China to basically tell Iran to open the strait. And China's not going to do that because the strait is already open for Chinese vessels. And it's America that's holding the world hostage with their, they're basically putting a blockage on the blockage, as you can say. So the Taiwan question will come up, and I believe Trump may use Taiwan as a card, and he might even sell Taiwan off, who knows, for economic benefits. If China can get Trump to not send any weapons to Taiwan, or make a statement saying he agrees to the one China principle, and if he writes something a legally binding document to say, he America won't interfere with peaceful reunification with Taiwan and the mainland. If you can do something like that, then that will be a really good bonus for China. So that's it, guys. I think the people coming with Trump, obviously there's a big list of people. You got Tim Cook, and I got an issue with Apple, to be honest, guys. Obviously Apple, because of all this anti-China sentiment, Apple moved some of its manufacturing away from China into India. So there's a lot of phones being manufactured in India rather than China, which means that China lost a lot of jobs. They're obviously losing a lot of money. Plus, Apple is selling phones in China as well. So they're taking the jobs away from China, but they have the cheek to basically sell phones in China. I think there should be a rule that companies, if they want to sell their products in China, they must have all of their manufacturing in China, like 100% of their manufacturing, not in China, not in India, not in other countries where they manufacture the goods. They take away the Chinese jobs, and then they peakily ask to sell their products in China. I mean, I believe China has said no to Indian-made iPhones already. I'm not sure about that. I'll have to check. If anyone knows whether this is true or not, let me know. But I don't think China accepts any iPhones or any products that is made in India. So more of those rules would be very, very helpful. Larry Fink from BlackRock is going to China. Again, this guy should be banned from China because everywhere he goes, this guy destroys countries. As you know, if you remember George Soros destroying Russia, when Russia opened up its economy to the West, George Soros and BlackRock and all these other companies, hedge funds went into Russia, absolutely destroyed the country, stole all the riches and money, and destroyed the economy, destroyed the ruble. China cannot allow this to happen, and this is why they should ban companies like BlackRock investing in China. Blackstone, I think they do like properties and things like that as well. More hedge funds. Boeing is going because Boeing has been losing a lot of market share to Airbus. So obviously they want to go to China and secure some orders. There's Cargill, there's Citibank, which is a bank, Coherent, GE Aerospace, Goldman Sachs. Illumina is, I believe, it's a DNA healthcare pharmaceutical company. You got MasterCard here. I think MasterCard should be banned from China. China doesn't need MasterCard. Yeah, they're happy with WeChat and other things. I don't think MasterCard should be allowed. Meta shouldn't be allowed in China after what Meta pulled. Some of the biggest terrorist attacks that happen in China is because of Meta, and Meta allowed it to happen. So Meta shouldn't be anywhere near China or shouldn't be given any access to China. Micron and Qualcomm are semiconductor companies. Obviously, they do not want to lose the Chinese market. So they are very, very desperate to go there and get China to carry on buying their useless chips, which nobody really wants anymore. You got Elon Musk going with Tesla and SpaceX. I don't think SpaceX should be given any access to China whatsoever. SpaceX is basic, as you can see with SpaceX, it's basically used as a tool for, you know, color revolution and stuff like that. And you can see how SpaceX was used in Iran to push these riots, violent riots. Um, he uses SpaceX also for, you know, military uses as well, because as you can see, SpaceX is used by Ukraine to kill Russian soldiers. So SpaceX shouldn't be allowed anywhere near China or Taiwan for that matter. Visa and MasterCard, obviously, they both go hand in hand. And as you can see, the NVIDIA um, leader is not there in the list. And I believe he's not there in the list because I think he's given up. He's given up trying to sell NVIDIA to China. I think it's a losing battle, and he knows that. And I don't think. And he's been to China many times. He doesn't need to go with Trump. You know, he's been to China on many trips. I think he goes there every single month. And so he's been trying to sell his chips to China, and it's not been working. So anyway, guys, this is it for part one. If you go to part two on my new channel, I'll give you all the links in the description. So just go to the description and just click the links. Thanks for listening, guys, and I'll see you on the next video. Okay, for now.